Senior doctors of VHS, and everyone who has come here today, welcome. I'll briefly take you for many years. VHS and neurosurgery at VHS was at the leading edge. We were able to make a mark globally because, as Professor Ramurthy said, we had appropriate technology. That meant that whatever patients were being operated for cranial and spinal lesions, microscopes were there. So whether the surgery was done in New York or whether the surgery was done in Chennai here, it was appropriate technology. Neurosurgery is technology. It's about microscopes, it's about instrumentation, and that adds to the spectrum and care we can give to our patients. And this microscope era declined, and then the image guided era started, and we were behind. That is where the Lord probably sent Mr. Sitaraman, and we requested him to allow us to transit and again become a player. So as you can see, the surgeons of older years never used to wear even gloves. Surgery was barehanded, as you can see. So neither the hand nor the heart is enough. Microscope came, improved outcomes, but artificial intelligence, neuronavigation, and robotic surgery is absolutely essential now. It is not adjuncts which are, for only meant for the rich, but whether it is a poor man's brain or the spine of a child, it requires the best possible care. So this is Professor Ramurthy standing in front of his department along with Dr. Indra Ramurthy, and that is the unit head with me also having the privilege of being seated there. But what I am trying to highlight to you is it has always been a research unit. And when we want to talk research, there must be a level playing field. This is the operation theatre which we have. This is at VHS, which is very well equipped thanks to Professor Suresh. We have been on and off getting it. We recently acquired the Pentro microscope, which was largely his initiative. But what I am tending to go is what I am showing you on the other side, where this is the neurosurgery suite. This is the neurosurgery suite. So when we do complex surgeries, we require this. And it is appropriate technology. It is not unnecessary technology. It is not just wasting, and we really save that. Dr. Rahul will take you through the complete review of this, but this is what I am just in this welcome address, I am just introducing this. that this is not only the present now, but it is likely to keep on improving and become the future too. It makes spine surgery very accurate, it makes brain surgery very accurate. It actually saves a huge amount of money and a lot of stress for the patient and for us. So we really thank you. We thank out of words, we thank each one of you for that initiative. That is Dr. Ramurthy with an angiogram which is done in VHS. You can see that is what the picture is holding up to. And that's me with the navigation here. And I hope that this torch can be carried to the future. So thank you and welcome to all of you to this new era.
Thank you, sir. Now I call Professor Suresh, sir.
Respected Mr. Sitaraman, other colleagues on the dais, family of Super Autoforge, and my colleagues in VHS. First of all, wishing you all a very good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure standing before you to say a few words about VHS. Any platform an opportunity I have to talk about VHS, I can truly say, I can say with a sense of pride that today VHS has moved forward in a very significant way. Today actually marks another milestone in the history of VHS. Over 65 years ago, it was a vision of one person, Dr. Sanjeevi, to initiate a new healthcare facility focused on primary care. And he also focused on primary preventive care. And a lot of his emphasis was how can we prevent problems from happening. Treatment is only an effect of what we fail to prevent. That was his core. And he enlisted the support of doctors who were willing to serve from the heart. And I'm very proud to say I was one of them. And what he said was, just give 3 hours a day for 3 days a week for VHS, for treating patients free of cost. And his fundamental principles was, we not only have to, VHS at that time, imagine 65 years ago, this place itself was almost rural. And from here, another 50 kilometers radius, he established several primary health centers, went to a population of about 5,000 people, and he took people from the village, trained them on preventive health care, put them in the primary health center, and they were serving the center. And that was the concept of VHS, and the government of India took this concept, and primary health centers across the country came because of him. Now, what was his fundamental goal? Because you can't do medical treatment without any cost. Somebody has to subsidize the cost at some time. So, but his fundamental principle was to reduce the out-of-pocket expenses. And if you also look at the preamble of VHS and also the constitution of VHS, that we are here to produce, to give affordable care to the community. Because the government was giving free, and there were corporate hospitals or large hospitals which were fully paying facilities, and in between there need to be a space where we need to care for the common man to just reduce his out-of-pocket expenses. Now, how do we do this? Because at that time, when Dr. Sanjeevi gave the call, you need experts, and experts are not very easy to attain because they are quite busy in their own So once Dr. Sanjeevi said, medical experts said we will give a lending hand, and I have seen stalwarts in medicine walk through these corridors. Professor K.V. Trivandrum and many other stalwarts who have walked through these corridors, and one of them, of course, we know is Professor B. Ramurthy. But the rapidity of progression of the medical field necessitated we upgrade ourselves with the most current technology, but at the same time make it available at affordable cost to the common man. because as we know, as new technology evolves, it's extremely expensive. It's not only expensive to purchase the equipment, but also to maintain the equipment. So what happens here is we aspire for having a very big equipment here, and this aspiration remains an aspiration till a benevolent donor comes along and says, let me help you with this. Because we believe that the value of human life is beyond economic status of the individual. A person who's of very modest means should have the same level of technology given to him as would any other person. Because end of the day, by using high-end technology, you reduce operating time, you reduce hospital stay, and in fact you are helping them to go back to their earning very, very quickly. Now, every company, you know, when they sell the machine, there are some hidden costs involved. And the hidden costs are not only the maintenance, but also some consumables which are there. Hardly they tell you, if you want to operate on a patient, every time you have to buy consumables worth about 15,000 or 20,000. And that changes the equation completely. But nevertheless, you have a very, very high-end technology. At the same time, this is a patient who needs it, and there's a gap which needs to be bridged, and that's the gap we try to fulfill, but by not denying this technology to any poor patient who comes to VHS. I'll just give you an example. A significant milestone was reached when during COVID, where almost every patient required a CT scan of the chest. And the CT scan of the chest was costing close to about 3,000 rupees. I also found that the ambulance cost was another 3,000 rupees. Meaning for one CT scan of the chest, patient was spending almost 6,000 rupees and the patient had to be transported outside. We did not have a CT scan at that time. One benevolent donor said, I can understand your problem. We provide you a CT scan. CT scan came. The cost per CT scan of the chest was only 1,000. Between every patient, for every CT scan, they saved 5,000 rupees. And that is what we call as truly affordable care. And we know that the Department of Neurosurgery is a flagship department of VHS. They were the first specialty to be established in this campus. And we consider ourselves very privileged that this was started by Professor V. Ramurthy, who was literally the word neurosurgery for the country came from him. From being a primary care hospital, we transformed into a specialty care hospital. The relentless pursuit and the exceptional leadership of Dr. M.C. Vasudevan and a very dedicated team of staff ensured that we provided affordable, extremely affordable, I won't say affordable, but extremely affordable neurosurgical care, in addition to being a center for training neurosurgeons for the country. Today, we are very proud to say that across the country, many neurosurgeons who have trained here are providing care to the community. Now, this is something is for posterity. You are creating a group of people with, when they hear for 6 years, they carry a philosophy with them, and this philosophy of affordable care goes, and they know that what the community needs and how they will do, and that's a significant contribution. We slowly, little by little, equipped the department, but a long-standing need was Neuro navigation system. I think Vasudevan and myself have spoken about it for many, many times over several years. He said, this is what we want. But remember, even without the technology, they were doing extraordinary work. But imagine when this equipment is available with them, what would change? What would change? You're going to see how it's going to transform the case when you see the real cases. But what would change is precision. precision, at the same time reduction in the time of surgery, and when there's reduction in the time of surgery, the overall costs come down again. And that's again, it helps us, even though it's a very, very high cost equipment, it's actually saving a lot of money for the patients as we go along. And that I think is very important. And I have to thank Mr. Sitaraman, a long-standing friend of VHS. And I should thank Professor J. Balasubramaniam for introducing him to us. I think that's very, very important. For all these years, our blood bank has benefited immensely by his generosity and also the super auto coach. And 2 days ago, he called me and said, "How many people can I bring to the function?" I said, "The hall is yours. The hall is yours because we have 150 seating capacity. You please bring as many people as you want, because it's our joy and pleasure to actually interact with you and also express our feelings, our warm feelings of gratitude in person." Now, for a long time, Mr. Sitaraman and Super Auto Coach have been helping our blood bank. And on behalf of the President and Board of Central Committee and also the Board of Trustees, I sincerely thank him and Super Auto Coach for their generosity. And I will assure you that this will help many patients to have affordable neurosurgical care at VHS. When we knew that he was coming and the family of Super Auto Coach was coming, Dr. Maitri of Blood Bank immediately said, "Can I say a few words? Because this is an opportunity for us to thank you in person." And let me now call upon Dr. Maitri of Blood Bank, Director of Blood Bank, to say a few words and express her feelings. Thank you, Maitri. Please come. Thank you.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Secretary Dr. Suresh and Dr. Vasudevan for giving this wonderful opportunity, because we have got a very good long-term association with Mr. Sitaraman and Super Auto Coach through our Chief, Dr. J. Balasubramaniam. And both Mr. Sitaraman and Dr. J. Balasubramaniam, they were actually family friends, and also they have got a common link that both of them are the alumni of Ramakrishna School, Tinala. And we have got a very long-term association, and we would be failing in our duty if I don't acknowledge Mr. Sitaraman and Super Auto Coach on this stage for the good work and support they gave it to our blood center. So I would like to put it on record that actually we went back to record from 2004, almost 20 years. Every year Super Auto Coach, they conduct regular blood donation camps, and every year the number goes on increasing. 2004 it was 54, we have got complete data, and every year the number was increasing, and in the last 3-4 years, with the help of very vibrant and energetic all HR like Mr. Yanakaran and other HR, Mr. Ravi Shankar, and everyone's support, now we have reached the target of 400 units in 2023-24. They take so much of efforts and they conduct regular motivation talks to the people, and they see that they are able to provide good number of units to the society. And apart from this, not only stopping arranging blood donation camps, they procure all important necessary equipments also for the blood bank. In 2020, just before COVID, we were able to introduce fully automation technology for screening tests for all transfusion transmitted diseases. That equipment that we were able to obtain only because of him, and because of this we are able to handle any number of donor samples with this equipment. It is a fully automated equipment. Before that we were doing only semi-automated equipment. And after that, our blood bank van, it was refurbished, and with all facilities so that we are able to carry all camp materials, and we go in and around Chennai, and we are able to conduct blood donation camps. That support also was given by to them. And the next year they got all blood collection monitors and specifically designed blood cots, camp cots for the donors. And the last year they again helped us in procuring a special equipment, that is spectroptia, which is specially designed for collecting, which can be useful both for the donors as well as for the patient, both for blood collection as well as for therapeutic uses. That is like collecting stem cells, single donor platelets, and therapeutic plasma exchange. And though that equipment, definitely we cannot think it of. He immediately came forward. Usually, whenever we say any requirement to him, he immediately comes to our blood bank. He sits with us. He just discusses with us. Really, it is needed. Everything. Immediately, he will get the equipment for us. So, suppose if you want to go for any development in the blood bank, immediately myself and Atmanathan sir, we were just thinking about it. நம்மளால பண்ண முடியுமா, இந்த equipment பண்ண முடியுமா, நம்ம சீதாராமன் சார் கேட்கலாம். So அந்த அளவுக்கு he gave us confidence. And of course, the very sophisticated procedure, irradiation, we were just thinking about it, and the initiation of that project, it was materialized only because of him. Of course, it is under process. There are so many formalities in bringing up the normal irradiator. So it is just pending that project. So otherwise, so I want to say that I take this forum to thank Mr. Sitaraman and Super Auto Coach, and immediately is ready to lend a helping hand whenever there is any need in the development of our blood bank. So we are very much grateful to you. I want to say thanks to from all on behalf of our blood bank team and VHS to you and our team, sir. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I call upon Dr. M.C. Vasudevan, sir.
It is usual to say, respected Mr. Sitaraman, but I am going to say, dear Sitaraman, because he is so dear to VHS in all aspects. And of course, Dr. Suresh, Honorary Secretary, Dr. Yuvraj Gupta, and all members of SAF and VHS. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Sitaraman, Chairman of Super Auto 4. He is already well known through blood bank to VHS and I think pediatric too. His contribution to the blood bank of VHS is enormous, as explained by Professor Maitri. My family, Madabushi, is greatly involved in raising funds for VHS, particularly to neurosurgery. When my brother, Mr. Muralidharan, went to USA and discussed with his daughter, Mrs. Sangeeta, to collect donation from her friends for VHS, she introduced Mrs. Sujata Suresh, a close friend of Sangeeta and happens to be niece of Mr. Sitaraman, who voluntarily came forward to introduce Mr. Sitaraman to me. In this occasion, I want you to see who is Dr. M.C. Muralidharan, my brother. Please get up. He is the initiator of the project. I spoke to him, Mr. Sitaraman, and sent the appeal to him and requested for a personal interview. But this gentleman went out of the way. The next day morning, he came to VHS and met me at my library. I explained to him about our needs of neuro navigation. Once he understood, normally they will ask how long it will take, all those things, nothing. He said, I am sanctioning, please order for it. Within few days, he transferred the money also. It is one of the highlights of his dedication. Of course, I need to tell something about him. He was graduated from Annamalai University in Mechanical Engineering in 1967. Worked for a short period in Los Angeles till 70. In 74, he established Super Auto 4 as a pioneer for cold extrusion of steel parts in India. Today, it has grown up as a very large exporter of cold and warm forged steel and aluminum parts in India
with a turnover of 1,560 crores and employed more than 1,800 employees. 80% of its products are exported to automotive industries to USA and Europe. Several forging process and innovative cooling technologies have been developed in-house without any collaboration or technological tie-up with other countries. His unmatched operational efficacy got him Forge Master Award in 2011. He is strongly supported by his family, wife, daughters and all members in his activities and all involved in philanthropic activities. We welcome you, sir, to VHS to inaugurate the state-of-the-art Neuro navigation donated by our good sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vasudevan sir. And now I call upon Dr. Rahul Srinivasan.
Slides. So good afternoon. I will be talking about the Neuro navigation system what we have bought. Full screen. Back. Mouse is not working. So the mouse is not working. Laser inside the screen of the pointer, if I put a laser here, it won't be visible on the screen. I was using the mouse, but it's not working. Okay.
But you sit and change.
I'll present from there. I'll present.
Michael.
You on screen? So this is a new Neuro navigation system. You can actually see in the photograph that is the system we bought. It has two computer interface. Okay, this comes under image guided neurosurgery, which is the current practice in neurosurgery. Next slide. So why Neuro navigation? You know the brain contains lot of eloquent and functional tracts. You have to target the pathology without disturbing these tracts. That's why for achieving a better surgical outcome, you need Neuro navigation. Now what does the Neuro navigation does is it enhances the 3D anatomical perception of a surgeon, and it gives you a three-dimensional image, radiological image, which will improve the surgical precision. It improves the confidence of the surgeon to tackle the complex anatomy, and also it mitigates the learning curve. So even an average surgeon can do an exceptional job with Neuro navigation, and it will make them from a traditional open, you can convert into a minimally invasive procedure. You can do those kind of things with Neuro navigation. Second, yeah. So earlier, we used to use Atlas, map Atlas to navigate around the corners of the street. But nowadays you have this Neuro navigation system, which is in real time, which shows the arrival and even the speed, and also where you are, where is the congestion. Everything is being shown by the present system. Next. So in similar terms, navigation actually is not new in neurosurgery. In 1950, it was introduced as a stereotaxic principle, where you can see the first image where the skull is mounted with a frame, and in that frame you can target any kind of anatomy with a certain coordinates, x, y, z coordinates. Later on in 1990, you have the first generation, all the four screens, first generation Neuro navigation, which was invented, and now we have a state of the art this neuro navigation system with multiple capabilities. So I'll just demonstrate how we use the neuro navigation. Next slide. So first what we do, the first step is you acquire the image. Either it can be a CT or it can be MRI, it can be a spine, X-ray or CT. That can be converted into a DICOM format, and that CD is inserted into this console. Next. So this is the computer interface, which both of the screens are touch interface. You can see one antenna like thing in one of the computers. That is nothing but a camera which actually emits infrared, and you have there is a black color on the either side of the antenna. That is the receiver for the infrared. So you have two technology based on this neuro navigation. One is called as optical system, which is infrared based system. One is the electromagnetic system, where you have a small box connected next to the patient. It sends electromagnetic waves around the patient, and that gives a radiological route map. Next. So this is the optical system. For all optical system, you need to frame the patient. You need to pin the patient. The head should not move. And you can see the camera in the red wave, line, where you can see that infrared rays is sent by the camera in the first picture, and the yellow light is nothing but resemblance that it is receiving the inputs from the surgeon's hand. So these are the two equipments on the right first picture. So above picture, you have one with a patient frame and one is the patient probe. Both are attached to the patient while we operate. Next. So this is how the patient is pinned. You can see the patient is pinned, and you can see that tower-like thing which is attached right next to the patient. That sends signal to the navigation. This is one type of technology. Other type of technology, for example, for pediatrics, the bones are very soft. You can't pin the pediatric patient. It will perforate the bone. So in such kind of case, what we have is electromagnetic system. It creates a local Wi-Fi or your Bluetooth-like waves around the patient. And you can see that butterfly-like sticker goes to the patient's forehead, and that is detected by the computer, and that gives a roadmap. Next. First. So this, you play the video. So here you can see this is a electromagnetic, the same pediatric child. You can see the electromagnetic box is connected to the patient's bed, and it is connected to a local hub, and this gives inputs to the navigation computer interface. Now after this, you have something called as registration. That's the next step. Now registration, what actually you do, you already have a radiological scan a day prior on your computer. Now what you're doing is virtually matching the patient's anatomy with the radiology, what we have, and that gives a roadmap in a radiological image, and through that we actually perform the surgery. Now this can be done in two parts. One is tracing, one is point. Point-based anatomy is where the particular point is very common in all patients, and that can be used for point thing. So that was a video of showing tracing. Now once you did the registration, you have to also check the accuracy of navigation, whether it is showing correctly or not. Now see, I am putting that probe inside the ear, and even the scan is showing me that I am putting the probe inside the ear. This means your navigation is accurate and you are registered properly, and you can proceed with your surgeries. Next. So you also have additional features with this navigation. For example, you can take a deep biopsy from the brain. You can integrate your microscope with the navigation. You can integrate your X-ray machine, which we do for spine surgeries. That also can be integrated, and all kind of instruments we can integrate with the navigation. The latest, it is also a future-proof technology where you can actually connect intra-op CT for spine surgery, and also robotics also can be connected to this system. So this is a robot which you can see the arm of the robot is attached to the patient's back, and the inputs for this, where to instrument the spine, will be given from the navigation. Next. So this is a cranial biopsy kit, where you can see the first images contains the components of that, and you can see the last image, and you can see the navigation screen which is there, which shows the yellow color shows the tumor, and the probe. You can select the entry point, and you can target the lesion in a non-eloquent fashion. You can do it pre-operatively. Preoperatively, you can plan this trajectory, a non-eloquent trajectory, and through that biopsy can be taken. So this is the final assembly of it on the right hand side of your slide. Yeah. So you can also integrate microscope with navigation. What it essentially does is we have a state-of-the-art microscope. You can see the radiological color coding mapping, where the orange is the tumor and all the rest of the fibers are color coded with blue and green. What it does is the same the color coding comes in your microscopic lens. So what it superimposes, it's like heads-up display in your car. It superimposes because of the superimposed image, you can find the tumor correctly and you can avoid all these eloquent tracks. Otherwise, if you damage this tract, the patient will end up in deficits. And you have the spine module from Medtronics, where you can connect that black drum-shaped thing to the X-ray machine, and you can send the pictures to the navigation, and it will give you an X-ray like picture. Only 2 views is required. Normally, you take lot of X-ray shot to see the implant is in position or not. This only 2 shot is required. It is very radiation friendly for the surgeon, for the staff, also for the patient also. So you can instrument it correct place. You also have something called as DBS module. What you actually do is, it's a deep brain stimulation module. You can see certain amount of nucleus which is neurodegenerated in that MRI. You have color coding of that nucleus. What you essentially target is that particular nucleus. You stimulate. It is almost like a dead nucleus. You have to stimulate via the electrode, and that helps in symptomatic improvements of Parkinsonism. And this is the final thing which we have called as DTA integration. What we have is all the eloquent fibers are color coded, and the orange color circle is the tumor. So this essentially helps the surgeon to plan the tumor. Now you just think that if you go blindly, you can damage this. You can damage these tracks if you go from the lateral approach. But if you do go on heads-on approach, you can actually save these tracks and prevent deficits for patients from neurological deficits. Now in future we have an ambition to buy this OAM also, which is very, very useful. So what it does is it gives you a very intraoperative CT-like picture, and that will be helpful for spinal instrumentation. So other than this, 2 things which I have missed is ultrasound integration, which has come up just in last year, and you have also intraop MRI, which patient can be within the OT itself. MRI can be taken, and that can be navigated towards the image can be pushed towards the navigation for further removal. So our experience is total since when we got this navigation, we totally did around 43 cases in various domains of neurosurgery. Next. So this is the first case which we did. So you can see the first CT shows that this is a case of a hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus means water in the brain. You can see this was causing the patient to be symptomatic. So the problem is, this is a blind procedure. Usually we use microscope for all procedure except for this procedure. You just perforate the skull and you put the catheter in a blind way. So sometimes the catheter can move out of this. There's a lot of misplacement chance. You can see the International Court of Literature itself saying that it is 33%. Now I'll play the video. When we use navigation, we can exactly place within that ventricle. What we say is ventricle. You can see the orange color line. We are introducing the catheter real time into it, and we can place it correctly. And the result of which is displayed on the right side of your screen, where you can see the shunt is in position and the significant water reduction is achieved, and brain also has expanded, and patient also had a good neurological outcome. So this second case is a commonest brain tumor which we call as glioma. You can see the first scan showing the MRI, all those white part is a tumor, and you can see the navigation, how it navigates to various areas of the tumor. So what it essentially tells us is that how much we are removing the tumor. It quantifies. So post-op image, you can actually see a good complete gross total resection of the tumor. If you leave behind this tumor, this will recur again and grow to the same size. So third case, what we are used is we are used for a vascular anomaly. Now there was a problem with the vessel, and that vessel got burst out and it caused brain hemorrhage. And you can see the navigation pointing towards the culprit. And once we saw the culprit, we clipped that area and bleeding stopped. And the result of it is in post-op image. Yeah, you can see that is the clip which we have used for the clip, and the bleeding has all gone. Fourth case, when you have a multiple tumor like this situation, we can't we can't take off all the tumors. So in that we have biopsy solution. You can see multiple tumors are there, multiple ring-like tumors. And in the second section, you can see you can preoperatively plan all this non-eloquent trajectory. You can plan to take a biopsy from that. And intra-op, you can fix the target. You can choose one trajectory, and it will give you a distance. How much distance from the skull? Once you make a hole, how much distance to the lesion? It will give you as a distance. And in real time, you can see on the right corner of your slide, we are doing the surgery. Right corner, we can take the punch, and the post-op image can be seen now. You can see exactly one small dot which you have taken. It's not very clearly visible, but we can see exactly we have taken the biopsy from that without causing any deficit to the patient. Now this is a case, it's a complex skull-based case. You can see in the first image significant lesion on the white color lesion on the left side of the CT scan. And we registered the patient. You have to fix the patient. You can see Dr. HCV doing the registration. And next video. And we are checking the navigation accuracy with that. Real time, you can plan the incision also based on the lesion. And the post-op scan. Next post-op. Click. Post-op scan, you can see complete removal of the tumor. The white color is totally gone, it is totally black. Next. Now this is the case of a meningioma. Now why I have displayed this is the minimally invasive surgery. You can see the amount of bone removal which we have done. Otherwise, traditionally we used to open a lot of amount of bone, unnecessary exposure of normal brain. So in this kind of scenario, you go in and out, just take out the lesion and come without exposing the normal brain, thereby very less of collateral damage. Patient also improves significantly, and recovery is fast, and we can discharge the patient even in 3 days. You have this pituitary tumor, which is a very large, you can see a skull-based tumor, white color tumor, which you see in the CT scan. Play the image of. There are some blind areas where the surgeon cannot see, and that can be demonstrated with this navigation, and that will help us to resect more and more of this tumor. If you leave a small bit also, this tumor can regrow like anything again the same size. That's the post-op image. Totally the tumor has been removed, just the post-op change. Now this is a very interesting case. This is a case of a similar case number 1. We had a water right in bang on the center of the brain, very close vicinity to very eloquent structures. First time we took her in November 2023 when we didn't have the navigation. That time we failed to put a catheter there. Then later on the patient became symptomatic again, so we had to do some other procedure to reduce the symptoms. Later on, that lasted only for 2 months. She came back again in February. During the conference time, she had come back again and she was symptomatic again. So this time we had navigation in place. Now you can see exactly we had planned a non-eloquent trajectory and exactly placed that shunt tube, the catheter tube, which you can see on the right side of the image. And now she is symptom free. So we had opportunity to collaborate with IIT Madras, and we usually conduct this national workshop every year annually, which falls in Jan 28 and 29. And you can see that our main, since we had this navigation, we had this image guided neurosurgery conference. A lot of dignitaries from national and international level were the part of the guest, and you can see that 2 professors from IIT was also invited to give their own ideas. So that we had conducted with navigation. Total of live surgery, we have conducted 6 surgeries during that days. Next. So our future goal with IIT is to conduct more and more research in this particular field, image guided neurosurgery, to get neurosurgeon as well as IIT collaborate and to allow for a local innovation, and to collaborate more and more multiple research in terms of implant and designing an instrument with them. And we also wanted to develop some indigenous navigation and improve the current platforms with IIT. So I sincerely thank Super Auto Force for providing us with this fantastic navigation, and we did wonders with this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Sri S. Sitaraman sir for inaugural of the navigation. Yes, sir.
Press once.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon sir for his words. Sir, please.
Respected doctors on the stage, esteemed guests, friends, staff of VHS. See, I got the opportunity, what Dr. Maithili has told, the opportunity to start working with VHS occurred more than 20 years back when our beloved JB, a close family friend of ours, involved me into the blood bank activities. Of course, all that we did was to give him the space. He was such a serious, dedicated person. He used to come and, he was convincing our people. Initially there was so much fear about giving blood. He used to talk to our boys, convince them. So I'm glad that this number has gone up to 400 plus. That's really achieve a great task. Maybe we have to give a big hand to our staff and all here. Yes, that's probably you have covered only, in my opinion, 25% of our total workforce. So there is no opportunity because they are showcased in 25%. The other 25% definitely come with boldness. Generally, there will be fear. Giving blood may sort of affect them, things like that. So it's good that you have broken the base for that. I'm very happy. But one thing I want to recognize here is when you lost JB, unfortunately, COVID, I was also generally worried. Not that I knew you have a great thing, but like they say in UK, king is dead, long live king. So immediately the department, within matter of moment, Maithili and her staff, they were able to take on the work. And I think pre-COVID you were only below less than 300, right? So you've been able to improve it to this extent in a short period. I'm very happy about it. Our company SA was founded in 1974, therefore this is our golden jubilee year. Thanks to the blessings of Almighty, dedicated work of all our staff and workmen, and also well-wishers. We have a great number of well-wishers who have been helping behind and directly to success of the company. We are really grown very well and very satisfactorily. We are a well-established company today, thanks to all the support we had with everybody. So we as the management of Super Auto Forge, probably thanks to what was inculcated into us by my father, Sri Shankar Narayanan, we believe wealth in our hand is, we are only custodian of wealth, not the owners of wealth. We very strongly believe on that. And we also deem it a great duty on us to make sure a major portion of it reaches to the needy, whichever form it is. We can't directly do that. We have institutions like you, and we also work in a big way with Public Health Center, Mahambalam, Hindu Mission, Cancer Institute. So we use the agencies who are in between us and the people, recipients of the service. So we believe in making sure that we are able to reach what we benefited, and is a big part of it back to the society. Particularly this golden year, we have a very big goal of doing whatever best we can do during the next 12 months. And this neurology equipment is actually the first beginning of that. The culmination, let's say, opening of that. I am sure we are actually talking to a lot of institutions, not only health, education, special children. So next 12 months, we really intend making sure that we give back to the society what we have got from the society. When I met Dr. Vasudevan and his team a few months back, I was really amazed by the dedication and seriousness. They are so very, particular that something has to happen and they have to reach out to the poor, they have to help them. That dedication I have again found in the blood bank. I think we are the founders of this VHS has inculcated into the whole, probably it has gone into the DNA that this institution is meant for helping people, meant for reaching out to the poor, that has gone so much into everybody who works here. I am really amazed by this attitude because I don't find this attitude everywhere. Particularly in this area where in this era we live, there are corporate offices, hospitals, you go for minor ailment, you go and come out, you spend a few lakhs. That is the type of era we live in. And in this type of times, the have-nots have very little go. And probably VHS is one place where they can take solace, even with their packet empty, come here and probably get their ailment cured. We as a company, as I already said, we very strongly believe that corporates like us, as well as rich individuals, must have to come forward to support all institutions like this, not only health, education, wherever it is. Because I am a part of this, as a trustee of Public Health Center also, Mahambalam. We know how difficult it is to run a hospital with a rising cost and administrative cost and whatnot. At the same time, you want to do a very reasonable or low cost work to the poor. It is absolutely impossible without continued donation support from corporates and rich people. We on our part wish to assure you, sir, that we will be always behind you. Whatever improvements you want, please feel free to approach us. We will only be too happy to be always in help to you. And we wish VHS grow in stature and expand this service to more segments of poor. I wish everything best for you.
Thank you, sir. Proceeding towards the felicitation, I request Dr. M.C. Vasudevan to felicitate Dr. S. Sitaraman.
Formality, sir. Not really needed.
I ask Professor Suresh Shashari to felicitate Mr. Sitaraman, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. Sure. Agree.
I request Professor Anil Pandey to felicitate Sri Sitaraman, sir.
just need to say good morning. Doctor was the one very serious about the first day I came.
Now, thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Yuvraj Gupta, sir, for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure on behalf of VHS to stand before all of you on this important day and occasion of such a big contribution towards humanity. At the outset, I would thank our Honorary Secretary who has been leading VHS to the present heights from what he knows what it was earlier, what we went through, and today he is the guiding light for all of us. We have a dedicated neurosurgery team over here under the leadership of Dr. Vasudevan. So we thank the whole neurosurgery team for that. Now, I have to thank Mr. Sitharaman from Super Auto Forge, under whose chairmanship this company has got such a big mission of serving the humanity. He's done so much for VHS. First, his own people, he sent for blood donation. Then he provided a blood donation van. Now, I think 1 year back, he gave us a stem cell banking machine where we are able to do some single donor. Now he's gone to the command center. Something going wrong with the command center, something growing over there, you need to put it in order. This dedicated team is able to use the neuro navigation system, what they have donated, to go and operate the precise place and then get rid of it. So thank you, sir. The vision that you have focused, the vision that you have had and your family has got towards perfection, and your help in helping all of us is making us perform and live up to your expectations. We as a whole team over here promise, sir, that we will give all our support and expertise to your fulfilling your future contributions and visions and all that. Your legacy will definitely touch countless lives, and those lives will be benefiting from all the donations that you have made till date. Together we will make it work like magic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I request everybody to please rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता।